I have, there we go. Awesome. Well, welcome everyone. Friendly audience. It's good to see you all. Thanks for joining our monthly community call today, which is our first of the new year, March 5th. For those who are new to the call or new to this, welcome. The purpose of this call is to talk about all things Sumo community, which covers topics related to our Mozilla community spaces, support at Mozilla community spaces, Sumo. We generally talk about the latest Firefox product updates, we share trends and insights about our support channels, spotlight contributors, and whenever possible, bring experts from Mozilla to dig into deeper topics. Um, and with that, I'm going to advance there a little bit. Our agenda is on the wiki. This is a little bit more about like what we're covering today. We're going to go over the latest Firefox updates from Q1. This is our first call of the year. So we're going to catch up a little bit with Joe. We're going to do a FOSDEM recap. Kiki's going to cover that event. And then we're going to talk a little bit about what's next, current priorities, and a look ahead. As always, you can find our agenda also on the wiki. Um, there are several ways to participate in this call. You can be an active participant here on Zoom by RSVPing in advance through our community spaces. That way you can join and engage with us in real time. You can also submit questions in advance. We put a call out each month or each time we host this call in the contributors forum. And if you can't attend live, you can watch the replay on YouTube and Airmo. And last but not least, we send a feedback survey after the call. So your feedback is important to us. Let us know how we can make this call even more valuable for you. And I'll introduce myself and everyone else here. Joining us today is me, Andrea Murphy, part of the CX team. I'm a community program manager here at Mozilla. We also have Joanne Thomas, who is a product support manager. She'll be here to talk about Firefox versions 135 and 136. Again, we're catching up for the quarter. And then, of course, Kiki, our fearless leader, the senior community manager here. She's going to be talking about some platform updates and give us a very special recap of FOSDEM, which is the annual open source conference that Mozilla contributes to each year. And a very special thank you to all of you joining us today or watching the replay. We appreciate you. I always love to ground ourselves in why we're here. We are a community. Mozilla support is powered by a community of contributors, which are volunteers and employees from around the world who help people get the most out of our platforms. And we appreciate everything you do. Today's prompt is how have you used AI recently? I feel like we all have different use cases for how AI shows up in our lives. Maybe you drew a picture, maybe you automated a task, maybe you got directions or advice, maybe you got some editorial support with writing a business letter or updating your resume. Whatever it is, I'd love think about it, share, tell us more. Jump in the comments section, introduce yourself if you're live on the call. We'd love to hear from you. And I'll also plug a few things that Mozilla has done recently too. First, did you know that there is a AI Discord server Mozilla hosts where you can connect with others who are also passionate about Mozilla AI? Please check it out. It's a great place to learn more about this topic and just see how other people are using Mozilla AI. We also recently hosted a talk about Firefox, the Firefox AI platform. This was at FOSDEM, and you can watch the replay. You can go to the FOSDEM site and check out the full replay of that talk. Definitely worth checking out, and also joining the Discord and learning more from your fellow Mozillians. Cool. With that, I think I'll hand it over to Joe to talk about the latest Firefox updates. And Joe, you can hand it back to me, and I'll briefly go over the TOU and Mozilla account maintenance updates.
Awesome. Thanks, Andrea. Just a couple quick updates on our end. Such a great segue about AI, Andrea. We have released an experiment with an AI chatbot with AI chatbots that can come up on your sidebar. So if you go into your settings page, you can turn this on via Firefox Labs on your desktop browser. And essentially, you can pick from a few AI chatbots to turn on. And you can easily access that chatbot and summarize questions that you might have, do some brainstorming, do some editing. So super easy to access. I tried it out this week and it's pretty nifty. The other release that I wanted to mention here is in the iOS app. We have released a password generator. So if you can't think of a good password, uh, we can think of one for you that hopefully is super secure. But yeah, that is implemented in 136. If you have any questions, send them our way. That's pretty much it on my side. Handing it back to you, Andrea.
Thanks, Joe. Awesome. Well, I'm going to jump right into it. Last week, we launched our first ever terms of use agreement and updated privacy policy for Firefox. You'll find details about these updates shared on the Firefox blog, the Sumo Community Forum, and Mozilla Connect. Please go there and check out. We've linked to a bunch of resources to learn more. Here are just a few takeaways. We do remain true to our manifesto and dedicated to keeping Firefox open source. You can see exactly how data is used in our code. This agreement should improve transparency, making our commitments more clear and accessible, and supports us in modernizing the browser. Um, Obviously, there's been a lot of chatter about it. We want to hear from you. Your feedback and concerns are important to us. The best place to share it with us is share with us or support other folks' viewpoints is on Mozilla Connect. And you'll find the post and discussion featured prominently in that space. Thank you all for the feedback you've shared with us so far. Please keep it coming. Again, you can learn more via all of our channels. We are prominently featuring details about this everywhere. And thanks. The second update I wanted to talk about is related to Mozilla account deletions. This is a housekeeping update and not relevant for active Mozilla account holders users. But we want the whole community aware of this because it will also affect your Sumo profile. In the coming weeks, Mozilla is removing inactive accounts. We define inactive as accounts that have no authentication activity within the past 2 years and do not have an active paid subscription. If you meet one of these criteria or these criteria, you will be receiving a series of emails. We are reaching out to affected users quite consistently throughout this housekeeping process. So check your inbox if you feel you're at risk. You will have plenty of time to reactivate your account. If you don't, we want to make sure that you're aware of how this will affect your Sumo profile, which is attached, of course, to your Mozilla account. If you do not take action and your Sumo account is affected, please know your Sumo account will be permanently deleted and any former contributions will also be affected. So you will lose attribution to your contributions. We do not automatically remove all of the contributions, forums, post, knowledge base articles, but they will be also subject to our standard archival process. So while your profile will be removed, the content remains subject to our general archival process. There should be no surprises here. I will say there is no recovery process for a deleted Sumo profile, nor their account activity. So please, if you do feel you're at risk, check your email. Again, this is removing inactive accounts is an important housekeeping measure for Mozilla, and it keeps our platform secure. Yeah, check your inbox. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to Kiki to talk about the Pastebin decommission. Kiki, you know a bit more about this, so I'm going to pass it back to you.
Thanks, Andrea. This is just real quick because I don't believe that any of you is using Pastebin right now. The tool is it's like an Etherpad, but mostly kind of like focus on the tech community because most of the people who are using this is using it to pass code between each other. So it's really handy, and probably some of the forum contributors are using it as well. So if you are an active user of Mozilla Pastebin, you might want to click more on the link that I I include in this slide to raise flag or feedback or concern that you may have. Because the SRE team that is right now managing Pastebin is planning to decommission the tool by March 31st. So if you believe that you have any, concern about this, please reach out to the discourse link that I include in the slide. Thanks. That's all I have for this.
Except I'm going to pass it back to you, Kiki, for an update on FOSDEM.
Sure. Okay. Thanks, Andrea. Awesome. Again, I feel like this has been a while, like a month already. But anyway, it's good to recap this event because we've been talking about it pre-event as well. So FOSDEM, for those of you who don't know, is a one of the most important open source conference in the whole world. It happened in Brussels, and this year it was on the 1st and 2nd of February 2025. It was also the 25th anniversary of the conference. So it's a special kind of like celebration going on, including this photo that they took, I believe on Sunday. But they specifically asked people to come with their like oldest t-shirt because each year their team like sell a special edition of FOSDEM t-shirt. So these are like the t-shirts, custom t-shirts from the past to the recent one. And yeah, this is part of like the 25th celebration that they were doing at Blossom 25. And some kind of like numbers from this year event. So Blossom 25, we have actually have 70 deference, and this is even more than last year because I checked the number and compare it, and we have more than 1,000 talks and almost 90 stands, and more than 1,000 also like speakers and almost 200 volunteers helping the team on the site. And I believe this year we have like more than 10,000 participants, and we are spread over 8 different buildings. Just to give you, an overview of how big of an event FOSDEM is. But there's also like, oh, I should probably that link is internal link, but I should probably like, yeah, I can also make it public, but yeah, I'm not sure. But yeah, it's actually for internal. But there's like a lot more programs that we are doing this year. Because so like for example, Rachel came to give a keynote talk on Sunday, and there were also a few other um programs, for example, like the BOF sessions that we have, which is new. So those are like mainly cover some of the new programmings that we have this year. So Stan, as usual, we have a Mozilla Stan, but this year is a bit special because we are positioned just side by side with the Thunderbird Fox. So it's interesting. And we also collaborated with the Mozilla AI Fox in our booth because we wanted to promote some of their projects like Blueprints, Lumigator, and things like that. So they have been a wonderful collaborator for us this year. And we also, this is the first time that we are doing this. We introduced the Mozilla new brand this year. Um, you can see it from the photo, but that is our new kind of like Mozilla logo with the like with the flag, with the Mozilla flag. So that is something new. We also run a joint challenge with the Thunderbird Fox with some kind of like fun tasks, simple tasks around the community that people can actually do to win a special prize from us. That is the, like the Mozilla special t-shirt that we produce only for FOSDEM. we also showed a preview of the tap group feature in Nightly because Tim brought a monitor so that we can show people how the new tap group looks like in Nightly. So if you can go to the next slide, please. So yeah, this is the BOF session that I mentioned. It was actually proposed by Danny, and he lead the session as well. It was really an interesting session, which I hope we can have again next year. There were around like 30 people turn up during this session, and we talk about like challenges that we are facing in the community and how we can what kind of like improvements that people are expecting from Mozilla with regards to like the community programs. So yeah, as I mentioned, this was pretty interesting, and I'm really hopeful that we can run a similar session again next year. So yeah, if you can slide to the next one. So these are some of the numbers, overall numbers that from the program that we ran in FOSSUM this year. So we've got a total of 7 Mozilla-related talks across different DEFRAMs. This is not only our DEFRAM, including the keynote session that I mentioned from Mitchell. And in the Mozilla DEFRAM itself, there's a total of 12 talks that we ran. We have to cram some of these talks because I think 3 or more talks we only have those only like for 10 minutes because we received too many submissions this year. But yeah, we managed to have 20 talks in a Mozilla DEFRAM. And I'm grateful that this year we've got a better room. It was a much better room compared to last year, so that was nice. In terms of the attendees, we expected or like we from my calculation there are 1,500 attendees in a Mozilla DEFRAM itself. And then we also gave away 2,300 free cookies. Like last year, there was a cookie truck that we sponsor, so we're able to do this. And oh, this is the T-shirt that I mentioned in the quiz that we run in our Mozilla stand. So we gave away a total of 100 free T-shirts, and of course many more stickers as well in our booth. And on Saturday night, we also have a big Mozilla dinner, and 63 beer waffle was served in that joint dinner on Saturday. We've got 8 volunteers who help us with the booth this year, and also 4 staff members help us to also co-run the booth with the volunteers this year. And this is the result of the survey that we asked people to take after the event. And we've got an average of 4.26 out of 5 star for our overall presence at FOSDEM this year. And of course, there are many more Mozillians present that I'm grateful to see. But this is one of the like few events that I'm always looking forward because this is like one of that few events that I still feel like a strong presence, community presence. So I'm glad that I can be part of FOSDEM 2025 this year. Is there any more slides? Oh
Yes.
yeah, sure.
Books,
So this
yeah.
is the people who help us in the booth and made our presence possible at FOSDEM 2025. They help us run the booth, but also, like help with the logistic. They actually drove all the way from France, 8 hours to get to Brussels to help us with this. And of course, many more Mozillians, Shivam, Ludo, Harshil. Oh, sorry for the typo there. Sheena, Christoph, Sumia, and Jacob, all of them have helped us man the boot, but also help with the dev room as well. So thank you for everyone in this slide if you're
Ama-
watching this.
Amazing. Congratulations, Kiki. I know how much work went into that. It looked absolutely like a great time, lots of good stuff, learning, connecting, looked like an amazing event. So congratulations to you and all of our contributors who were part of it too. Um, awesome. I was just going to briefly chat about a little bit of what's next and a look ahead. I shared this during our last call, last call of last year, and just wanted to highlight it again. The Sumo experience is hosted on multiple channels, and you'll find the leads, the community leads, engaging with contributors on Sumo Community Forum, on Matrix, on Slack, our social channels, through events like this. One of the goals we set this year is to streamline and improve communications. So I've dropped an informal survey in Matrix and on the Sumo Community Forum channels, just about communication platforms. And it's mostly relevant to registered active contributors who are engaging on these channels. But I'd like to hear more from you about like your preferred communication tools and spaces. Where are you most likely to look for important announcements and updates? Feel free to share feedback here, jump in your preferred channel and just let us know your thoughts. Um, yeah, and just in terms of current priorities, I feel like it's important for us to kind of like give you a little bit of an overview of like where we're at in terms of what we're prioritizing behind the scenes, and just what to expect. This quarter, we were really largely focused on making some foundational improvements to Sumo. You'll notice there's a banner across the community now acknowledging that a fix is imminent. Thank goodness for our email notification issues. We know how important it is for our users to get notified about forum responses and for contributors to get critical feedback and updates from Sumo. We hope to have this resolved within a week. And props to the team for the hard work behind the scenes that goes into that. Um, and then just with regards to other priorities, like improving the quality and effectiveness of our forums is like of paramount importance to us. We know that addressing the spam issue is really important and improving that forum moderation workflow is critical. We also know that that process has presented some challenges. We acknowledge that we're learning as we go, and more importantly, we're gaining some really clear and actual insights that will help us improve the overall experience. Not just like the forum moderation side for our contributors who are, want us to sort of bring them along on how we're creating like more taxonomy and structure in the space. More to come on that because we do really want your feedback and support in evolving these tools. And while the wheels of progress can sometimes seem slow, we appreciate your patience. Please know more to come on this. And we are listening to all of your feedback and do appreciate your passionate sort of desire to be more involved and to help with making that process more efficient. Um, and as for programming, I just want to acknowledge this call is a roundup for the quarter. We may reduce the frequency of this update, but we are increasing the frequency of communications across all of our channels. And again, we want to hear more from you about this. So please give us feedback on where you're listening most intently. What are the channels that are most important for you to stay updated on? And we do want to reserve events like this for sharing opportunities to get more involved with community initiatives, to connect with other contributors, and to learn more and enhance your skills. Um, yeah. And then I also have like a sort of bittersweet community update that I wanted to share with all of those who know Lucas, who is one of our most valued associates. He's been with Mozilla for a couple of years now. He is going to be moving on from his role at Mozilla. That is as of today. And we're super sad to see him go, but we're incredibly grateful for his contributions over the past couple of years. I've highlighted some of his wonderful blog posts that outline some of the things that he's been working on and how he's helped been instrumental in improving our knowledge base, strengthening our content platforms, fostering strong relationships within the community. Many of you know Lucas well, and his impact will be felt long after his departure. He will be very much missed. The good news is it isn't goodbye. It's a see you around. Lucas will be staying connected with Sumo as a contributor. And so we're super excited to keep working with him in that capacity. In the meantime, for those of you who are working, who contribute in those spaces, Dayani will be stepping in to support Firefox KB content. So keep a lookout for her. Also, let Kiki and I know if you're having any trouble reaching or sort of understanding the new sort of process, just find us. We'll help walk you through it. Um, and I think that there we get to the end of our call. Thanks, everyone. I super appreciate your time today. We appreciate you joining in on the call and listening in. Yeah, and we'll see you in the months to come. See you soon, and please keep a lookout for our survey. We'd love to hear your feedback on the call. And again, we want to hear from you on all things Sumo, where we can be of even more value and service to you. Thanks, everyone.